Donut Bag is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Your data is your business. Protect it with ExpressVPN. For 3 extra months free with a 1-year package, go to the link listed in my Twitter profile. I was in absolute shock that the Steelers won that game. Holy fork and shirt balls. My goodness.
Pretty sure I was in cardiac arrest at the end of the game. I was just like, yep, nope.
I was in shock that it was competitive because of what happened with Cincinnati. We're done. We're done. We're laying down for the rest of the season. That's it. It's in the end of an era, whatever. And wow. I'm just so impressed.
I never get to that point, like not as like a braggart thing. I never get to that point with this team, especially with it's just the NFL. I mean, sometimes you just throw everything out. It's the Steelers, it's the Ravens. They're going to play each other close. You know, you just got to do what you got to do when the time comes. When I will say though, when they started transitioning to more of a zone run scheme there on that last go ahead drive, that's when I really, started to feel like, oh, bleep, we're gonna win this. Like we're driving on them. We're imposing our will. We're gonna find a way to do this. I was a little hesitant, obviously, when they got back into the end zone, but man, that's why you pay TJ Watt a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, I agree, and I felt very down on the Steelers. Obviously, the last 2 weeks, those last 2 losses, and so. Honestly, I thank my wife a lot. My wife was like, "No, you're a Steelers fan. You gotta put the game on. You gotta watch the Steelers." And so I put the Steelers on, and good freaking God, did they do everything to aggravate my soul in the first half?
Oh my God!
Yeah, especially on offense specifically. The defense did its due diligence. Like the defense was stellar, but did they do everything to eat my soul out? And
I'm sorry to interrupt. I went from, oh my God, oh great, we're not going to get blown out. They actually came to fight, to we're going to freaking lose because the offense sucks.
Yep. So I was sitting there and I was like, oh God. And then I went through the halftime show. I did some chores and like, I got away from the game and I sat back down and I was like, all right, I'm going to really watch. And they showed up in the second half and it was a different team. That was an entirely different team. I don't know what changes they made, but make those changes stick, because that was a Steelers team I can get behind.
Well, what they're doing is, especially on that last drive, but every time we see them be successful, it's the hurry up offense where Ben's calling the plays and Ben's in control. And it's like, Matt Canada's been a coach for a long time, but Matt Canada hasn't been the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 18 years. So,
he hasn't coached Ben Roethlisberger for that long.
Exactly. Sometimes you just got to let the old man do what he's going to do. And it's getting to the point where you need to do it more than just when you really need it. I like the zone scheme that they did in the run game that allowed Najee to just find the hole. If these defenders are going to be so aggressive, then just block them the direction they're going and let Najee be the athlete and find the hole and break a couple of tackles with space. I thought that's what we were going to get most of the season, but hell, I mean, finding it now when you're in the thick of a playoff race and you got to beat your biggest rival, hell, I'll take it. Just keep doing it.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed between God. We're going back to Todd Haley now. The offensive coordinator sucks. Ben says, screw this. I'm going to call my own plays. I'm going to run no huddle and it's going to work.
Yeah.
We're on our third offensive coordinator now where it's the same crap.
Because he doesn't understand who he has on the offense. So, it gets confusing that, who you have on the offense, and yet you hire these offensive coordinators that don't quite understand what they're dealing with. So I saw them run that. I saw them run that like that third. And it wasn't the third, but like that jet sweep with Claypool, and I saw it coming like a mile away, and so did the defense. And I was just like, please don't run this. Please don't run this. Please don't run this.
I think
And
it's worked
then
one
he just
time
did
in
it.
2 years, and they've tried it like 50 times. Out of 50 times, 49 times has been a horrible failure, and they run it all the time.
Thank you. I was just like, I saw it coming. I was like, please don't run this play. Please don't run this play. Make it a fake. Make it a fake. Make it a fake. And they didn't make it a fake. And I was so disappointed. Oh, yeah, that the offense was immensely disappointing. But let's not like let's just not wholeheartedly knock on the defense. Knock on the offense. There were some defensive problems too.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about the defense. I think the Ravens are a house of cards. I think they got away with some amazing, crazy victories. What was that field goal that Tucker kicked in Detroit? Like 68 yards or
66, I think.
Something like that. I mean, and that was a fluke that shouldn't have happened. There have been so many flukes, and they almost won this game on a fluke.
That was a solid play call. I will defend that. That was a solid play call.
I mean,
on the 2-point conversion,
it went off his fingertips. If that was a little bit better pass, we're talking about a Steelers loss right now.
No, yeah, I agree.
If TJ Watt does what they expected him to do, it's a loss.
Yes, I'm agreeing. That was a solid play call by the Ravens.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
TJ Watt fucked. I think TJ Watt royally effed that up for them.
Yeah.
How did he mess it up?
They left him unblocked. They left him unblocked, and he just got
should have covered him. Oh,
yeah,
because he was wide open.
Whoever had Mark Andrews had to cross the field, so he wasn't able to do it. So Andrews was wide open, but Watt was standing in between them and the passing lane. He just made the play.
I was gonna say, if you watch the play, Watt's like in his face. He's like doing the oogie boogie like and jumping stuff, and he's just making it tough for Lamar to find a passing lane. You watch that throw. That throw was not like a good, like precise, like throw. It's like a little sidearmy guy.
Right.
So,
I mean,
which he's not Patrick Mahomes, so
yeah. I mean, we're real close to talking about a loss here,
but we're not.
We gotta
but
win.
We're not. That's right.
But we gotta win.
We gotta win.
We gotta win, and we're alive. We're good. We beat the Ratbirds, man. Everything is positive.
Everything is possible. Isn't it Kevin Durant?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of Lonely Island. I'm on a boat. that's how I remember that. Yeah. Steelers lose that game. The season's over. Forget about it. That's it. We're done.
Yeah, you just play spoilers the rest of the year.
But now they did win, so we got
something.
We got chances, baby.
So you're telling me there's a chance. I like how two things I think I wonder how much had a bearing on how the Steelers played. One of them was all the old school people after the Bengals game telling them, hey, you guys suck. I mean, Rocky Blyer just flat out said, you suck. Ryan Clark, Ike Taylor, all the old school guys just trashing the heck out of them. I wonder how much that had an effect on it. And I wonder how much the quote unquote news, the breaking news that Ben Roethlisberger privately told some players and some people in the office that he's going to retire.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
I think that's another case of Schefter holding on to a story until it's useful, similar to what he did with the Aaron Rodgers thing, because everybody knows that this is probably Ben's last season. But I do think I don't know how much of that played a role, because I think the players probably know what the situation is with Ben. They've probably known from the jump.
I'll bet Ben says it every week. He's like,
yeah, like I'm too damn
Hey
old.
guys, this is my
guy.
last ride.
Right, yeah.
I'm too old for this shit.
You know, the sunset is,
For a
is down
Multog.
there. Yeah, but I do think legitimately that maybe the Ryan Clarks, you know, bashing them maybe hurt their pride a little bit. And I guarantee you that it hurt the pride of guys like Cam Hayward and Ben Roethlisberger and, you know, the older heads that were supposed to transition that culture to the younger players. If the younger players don't understand the culture, it's not their fault. It's the veterans, it's the Cam Haywards, the Mike Tomlins, the Ben Roethlisbergers. It's their fault. So if maybe when Clark and those guys are pointing that out, they're like, oh, well, maybe we haven't done a good job. And maybe that's the reason that we're struggling in this space right now. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of young players on this team that didn't play with those guys. That, you know, there was a period in time where our best players were Ben, AB, and Lev Bell and that offensive line. Well, all those guys are gone except for Ben. So the guys that you had once built upon are gone. The guys that have replaced them maybe haven't been indoctrinated in the culture the way they were supposed to be.
When
oh, go ahead.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say that's an interesting point that I haven't really thought about ever. I like to think that the real workhorses of each side of the ball, like you got obviously Ben Roethlisberger is a leader, but on the offense, you're right. You really don't have anybody outside of that. Yeah, on the defense, you still got TJ Watt is not going to let anybody not work their hardest. TJ Watt is ungodly in the amount of effort he puts in. Cam Hayward the same way. Mika, I think, is intelligent. I think he would pass that on. Terrell Edmonds, for whatever he's worth, as I think he just puts in the effort. I don't think he's the most skilled safety in the league, but I think he's adequate, and I think he just puts in the effort. So Joe Hayden, again, another person that can just give you knowledge and all that stuff. But that's an interesting theory. I never really thought about the Steeler way being passed down player to player like that. And you're right. There's not a lot of that on the offensive side.
So they asked Ben about the whole. He is very much a curmudgeon about the music in the locker room thing. And they asked him about that. Yeah, he's if you play music in the locker room, he'll like come over, either tell you to turn it off or he'll turn it off for you.
What if it's Creed? Like if we play some Christian rock, like is he down?
I mean, come on, Ben Roethlisberger is the most butt rock guy ever. You know he's gonna let Creed fly.
With arms wide open. But they asked him about that, and he said because when Mr. Rooney was alive, he would come to the locker room every day and talk to the players and just impart his wisdom and just have a conversation.
Diamond, hey,
what are you doing? Anyway,
I don't know if you could hear that.
No,
Please
I can't.
tell me you can hear
I
that.
can't. I can hear you.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was trying to mute it. I'm sorry.
Okay, you did not mute it. That's okay.
I did not do a good job. I'm sorry.
I was sharing this beautiful moment that made me cry.
My dog was barking at other dogs, and we have to stop that because it's part of their training. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, he was saying that Mr. Rooney would come down and talk to the players and impart his wisdom, and having a conversation with this legend and basically the owner of the team and the one of the founding fathers of the NFL, and you have a conversation with him, so you don't want to lose something like that. So, and that made me cry, because it's like we were just talking about the Steeler way. The Steeler way is a thing. And really, the only two that are passing that down or able to pass that down right now are Ben and Cam. They're the ones that have been old enough, and it is on them to pass it down. And it's not just on Ben and Cam, it's on the coaches too. But you're right. Those old and all those people that criticize them, they're absolutely right. There's one thing, you lose, you get your butt kicked, so be it. But when you lose the way you did against the Bengals, where you just had no effort, that's just unacceptable. Just unacceptable.
And I think there's room to evolve the Steeler way, such as the whole music thing, which I think is severely overblown. But you have to be able to make those evolutions with respect. You can't just do it. Oh, well, that's just what the kids do, because with Juju, like with the TikTok things, like he makes a lot of money off of that. Like he's not trying to be disrespectful. He's just taking advantage of his brand. But with Chase Claypool's suggestion of playing music during practice and whatever, that's just not understanding the culture and also not understanding the situation. Like, sure, that's something you enjoyed at Notre Dame or in high school or whatever, but like this is the NFL, and right now you guys are not playing well. So the music will not make you practice better. It's just something for you to enjoy. It's something that you earn, really. You don't give bad teams, fun things to do in practice.
Right.
You give them stuff they don't want to do in practice. You start running Oklahoma drills and running more inside drills. You do the
they
hard
practiced
shit,
in pads last week.
Exactly. So and
look,
that's
as long as they
biggest
practice tackling, I'm down.
But that's the Steelers have always been known to do that more than anybody else. But that's the biggest thing that I think proves that it did make an impact, is that they played like the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Baltimore Ravens, did what was necessary to win the game. And Terrell Suggs would say, this game determines whether or not you're a Raven. Well, everybody can say that about the Steelers. This game determines whether or not you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. If you can't perform in this game where the emotions are so high and everything is on the line, then you don't belong here. So that's where you give hats off to Chris Wormley for showing up against his previous team, and to Akalo.
My God, so much love. Did you hear what Tomlin said to him when he got traded?
Yeah.
He said,
that's it.
Go ahead, Andrew. Yeah, what did he say?
He said, when another team trades you, that shows you what they think of you.
But and when they trade in your division.
Oh, in your division. Sorry,
right,
I forgot that part.
It's like we think so little of you. We don't mind that we're sending you to our biggest rival and the team we're going to play twice. We don't even care. That's how little we care about you.
And Wormley got 2.5 sacks. Love that dude.
Absolutely right.
But I mean,
absolutely right.
Think about the guys that stepped up for this game, though. Like, obviously TJ Watt had an incredible game. Ben Roethlisberger led the way. Najee did his thing down the stretch. But like the LeGlue guy that stepped in at left guard, Weatherspoon showed up for the first time all season.
Yeah,
and had a fantastic
Weatherspoon,
game.
where the heck did you come from?
Exactly. Like these are the kinds of guys that are stepping up in these games. Percy Harvin had the punt of the year, right? So you got.
Oh my God, best punt. Seriously, if there's an award for that, nobody else wins that award.
I think that's where it comes from, though. That proves that maybe that noise from the outside acted as a positive venture for this team. It didn't have to be outside motivation, but it awakened something within this team that needed to be awakened.
Could be.
And now the question is, and this is what we've been saying all season. Every time something good would happen, we think, oh, they're going to build on this and they're going to keep being good and they're going to just keep going. And then what happens is they lay an egg. We don't know what to expect from this team. They could be awesome. They could be horrible. We don't know. Week to week, it is such a crapshoot.
It's the NFL.
It depends on what they put together week to week. So.
But that's where it gets interesting when you have the Vikings on a Thursday, just days removed from giving up the Lions' first win of the season. We tied with them.
They're going to be thirsty for blood.
Well, are they? We tied with the Lions and then laid down against the Bengals.
I was going to say, or they're going to fall apart. They're either going to
I'm the
be.
Vikings and I have any hope of making the playoffs, I'm thirsty for blood.
They're not making the playoffs.
They're a mess. They're a mess.
I'm not saying they're not a mess.
They're this close from firing their coach, like right now.
I'm not arguing any of this, but if I'm them coming into this week, I am thirsty for blood. I want to eat and kill whatever is in front of me, and that's the Steelers this week. So we're gonna get the nastiest, ravenous, most like vicious version of the Vikings, and they get Dalvin Cook and Thielen back in theory.
No, I don't think.
No, they're not getting either of those guys back. They're not getting.
Oh, I heard they were on the track. I heard they were on the track to play.
No,
I mean it's possible, but I heard that's. Yeah, I think both of them are going to be out. They have some
Thielen,
significant.
Maybe Thielen, but definitely not Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's gonna be out for like at least another week or so.
They have.
I'm reading
my fantasy hopes
on
rest on Alexander Madison, so I'm keeping up with Dalvin Cook pretty heavily.
I'm reading my fantasy report, so I mean I'm going off of those.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll play, but yeah, I mean, well, what are the Vikings 5-7 or something like that?
Yeah,
they are. I mean, their season is on the line.
Ours is too.
So is the Steelers,
yeah.
right?
Even though it's
a must-win game for both teams. So yeah,
even though it's an interconference game, like the Steelers have the Chiefs coming up and another bout with the Ravens. Like
God, we do have the Chiefs
and another bout with the Browns too, right? Like this is not going to be an easy stretch. You need to get this win.
Yeah, the schedule's not kind.
There's
no room for
the
error.
2 easy wins that you should have had with the Bengals and the Lions. So take care of business now.
Yeah. It's gonna get real. I mean, are they? The Steelers are like a game or two out of a playoff spot right now.
I think
if they, depending on who wins and loses next week, if they win, I think they get like the last spot. But it's touch and go at this point, and especially as Jacob said about that schedule is brutal. Like the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Browns, that's oof. The NFL is not kind.
I mean, yeah, they are right now. They are right now basically a half a game out of a playoff spot, right behind the Bills, who might miss the playoffs after basically being thought of as like one of the best teams in the NFL at the beginning of the season, and now they might miss the playoffs. Right
they
now,
they play in the division with Bill Belichick. I'm assuming like a bunch of their losses are probably like half cheats. So
Patriots are the number 1 seed right now, 9-4. It's disgusting.
Again, I would say they're like 4 and whatever, because like half of theirs are cheat wins. But
they cheated.
They're really 9-3. You know, it doesn't matter what you feel like they should.
Yeah,
be.
right.
The fact of the matter is that they're 9-3, and they just won a game by throwing only 3 passes because it was too damn windy to throw the ball. That even Josh Allen couldn't throw the ball. Like that's how windy it was. So I think you got to respect Bill Belichick a little bit for that one. I think you don't cheat.
I will still hate him with every ounce of my soul.
A 5-year-old could have come up with that game plan. It's too windy to throw. So what should we do?
Run ISO. Run sweep. Run ISO. Run sweep. Run ISO.
And the Bills are like, oh yeah, hold my beer. I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna throw it a bunch of times. Like, oh my God. After they saw Josh Allen, throw the ball and it ends up like in another zip code, they didn't figure out maybe we should stop throwing the ball. But then again, that's the problem with the Bills is they have no running game. So you can't tell a team with no running game, hey, now you got to run. So.
Well, and that's what set up the Patriots so well is they run the ball really, really well. That's why Mac Jones is able to just facilitate the offense, and they don't have to lean on him like most teams need to lean on a rookie quarterback.
I will openly admit that they do, because I have both of their running backs in fantasy. So,
what's your record in fantasy?
7-4. or
I
7-6.
So
I think you're
uh,
more like 4-3 because you have cheaters on your team.
Pew 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 pew. That was a good one.
Am I allowed to flip the bird on this podcast? Because I'm about
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Well, he deserves it there, but also you had it coming.
Lord
but,
Almighty!
Hey, I am announcing my retirement from fantasy football.
Again?
I again.
Really?
Damn, I got both of y'all in 2 minutes.
Yeah, man, yeah. You're zinging us.
No, wait. I was announcing my retirement. I'm about to win my league. So
I'm actually almost in a playoff spot. But last Sunday, it was about, I don't know, noon or something like that. And you got to look at your lineup because you don't know who is going to be like a last minute thing. And it said Jalen Hurts. Everything's good. I turned on the TV.
Oh no!
Gardner freaking Minshew throwing the ball because Jalen Hurts is hurt.
Gardner for the win.
And I would have won if I knew that, and I would have changed quarterbacks. But it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with fantasy football.
Gardner Minshew for the win.
Absolute pain.
All right, so here's the Steelers' remaining schedule. This Thursday at the Vikings, then home to the Titans. Win or loss? I think that's a win.
Honestly, the Titans have been playing really good against really good teams, so it depends. It's almost like it depends on how the Steelers play against the Vikings.
The Titans are the biggest play up or play down to the competition team ever. They will beat the good teams and lose against the bad teams.
They're worse than us about that this year.
Very much. Their
losses are to the to the Jets and the Texans. Like, those are two of the worst teams in the NFL. So, but it also depends on Derrick Henry. Like, we're starting to enter that space where, okay, is Derrick Henry coming back?
I heard he's not coming back to like January.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I heard too.
He's also superhuman. So
that's true.
I wouldn't rule anything out.
Roll Tide.
But they're getting Julio back. So there's a lot of variables in play on that.
We'll see. So then it's at the Chiefs, home to the Browns, and then at the Ravens. So in those 5 games, what do you think their record's going to be?
It should be 3-2.
I'm thinking that too. 3-2. So 3-2 will get them to 9-7-1. And the question is that going to be good enough for a playoff spot?
That one is going to be the difference.
It depends. For it to be the playoffs, it depends on like what the Bills are doing, what the Browns are doing. Like those teams that are also on the fringe.
Here's all the teams that are basically in it right now. I mean, the Ravens and the Chiefs are both 8-4. So you figure, and those are two of the best teams.
Yeah,
but
they're going to win the division.
Hey, even the Ravens, I think they're going to fall apart. We'll see.
Their defense figured them out, so
it's possible. Okay, then you have the Chargers, Bengals, and Bills 7-5. Steelers 6-5-1. The Colts are 7-6. Then you have the Raiders, Browns, Broncos at 6-6. And
the Raiders are garbage.
I think the Raiders suck. I think the Raiders suck.
Yeah.
And then you have the Dolphins at 6-7, and then
the Dolphins have a really easy schedule. They could find themselves at 9 or at about.
They could go 10-7.
They could go 10-7 very easily.
Tua.
Yeah,
Roll
Tide. But they could go that record. Fantasy. They could do that without even being like a good football team. So they could take up a playoff spot as a bad football team because they won't be tested the rest of the way. Like they have the easiest schedule imaginable to close out. So, but a team that I think is really, really dangerous and could hamper the Steelers' chances is the Colts. The Colts are making the playoffs, but the Colts are also really, really good. So they could bump the Titans down into a playoff spot and really kind of throw a wrench into this thing because the Browns are going to heat up. So it's a matter of if the Dolphins are stealing a playoff spot and the Browns heat up and the Colts bump the Titans down, you're in a space where there might not be enough room, even if the Steelers do go that 3-2 that we said.
Their best chance of making the playoffs might be winning the division.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be the most likely.
I
love for
I
that
could
to
see
happen.
the Ravens
That's
losing
anybody's
some
game
games.
at this point.
I could
Oh, it
see
is.
the Ravens losing some game. Let me see the Ravens schedule. The Ravens play. Come on, Google machine. Okay, so they're at the Browns. That's going to be interesting. Versus the Packers, that's a loss. At the Bengals, that could be a loss. Versus the home to the Rams, and then
Rams
home to
could
the
beat 'em.
Steelers. They got a tough schedule coming
They
up.
could go
lose
1 and
their
4
last
in that.
5.
They could go 1 and 4.
I'm not close to the idea that we beat them at home. We could beat them at home.
I think we can. They're literally a one-man team, and they just lost their best cornerback. They have no secondary. They have no. I mean,
imagine what the Rams are gonna do with that. Oh my God, the Rams are gonna destroy them.
What they had the Rams week 17.
OBJ is gonna go wild on the Ravens.
No, Cooper Kupp, because I need him in fantasy.
Yeah,
Cooper
Kupp,
Kupp for 4
yeah.
touchdowns.
Cooper Kupp is.
If I'm in the championship with Cooper Kupp with him playing against the Ravens, oh my God.
Cooper Kupp for 4. What I need. That's what I need.
Yeah. So
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
it's gonna be a wild month. I mean, basically the last games are like November 9th. So
Honestly, in the way the league is structured right now, it's going to be who stays healthy. Like, even
totally.
more so than it was usually in a 16 game season. This is going to be who is the healthiest at the end of the season of the best teams out of like your top 10 or so.
And that's where you can kind of think about the Steelers, where they're not overly banged up. A lot of the guys that they lost early and have been out for the season, so other guys can have the opportunity to step up a little bit. But if you look at the Ravens right now, they're decimated, and it's starting to catch up with them. You just said it, Joe. They're a one-man team. They are asking Lamar Jackson to do everything. And that is weighing on him. You could tell that with the interception he threw to Minka. There's just too much pressure on him to just make things happen.
Yeah, he was making first year rookie moves, especially with that interception. He was just running. I'm gonna throw it up, and that's a rookie move, dude. You're better than that. So
I mean,
yeah,
I think things set up well for the Steelers, but I think they set up better for teams like Miami and Indy and Cleveland, to be honest. And that's what's scary. But if Cleveland can get up there and win the division, as yours truly predicted, then the Ravens just fall off the face of the earth. That does open up a space for Pittsburgh, as long as Cincinnati kind of heals a little bit and stops with, because Cincinnati's a big unknown team. They're more unknown than I would say even the Raiders. They can play and beat anybody in the league, but they'll lay an egg the second you have any hope or faith in them, I should say.
Losing to the Chargers was huge.
Yes,
that was a big loss for them.
That's another team, is the Chargers.
Yes.
And they have a tiebreaker over us.
Yeah.
I think we could beat them, though. If we met them in the playoffs, I think we could beat them.
They might get in the playoffs over us, is what I'm saying.
I want those
I wasn't even arguing that. Yeah.
I want those Bengals in the playoffs. I want them because we would whoop their butt a third time.
We'd also just tear their quarterback's ACL like we did the last time.
No.
Keep move on, Olhoffen.
None of that.
Okay, so here's a Bengals.
I swear to God, Bengals fans, if you're listening, I swear to God, I do not want your quarterback's ACL to be torn. I swear.
Here's the Bengals schedule. Home to the 49ers. That's going to be interesting. At the Broncos. The Broncos
should win.
That's a win. Home to the Ravens. Home to the Chiefs, and then at the Browns. So those
last two games are going to be really hard to win.
Those last two will be interesting.
They better beat the 49ers and Broncos, and then we'll see what happens against them. So it's going to be fun.
At this point, if the Steelers don't make the playoffs, all I want is the AFC North to assert its dominance as the most dominant division in football, just to beat the crap out of every other division, because we basically do that every year. And the AFC North is the best division in football.
Are they? I mean, the AFC West is almost as in terms of wins is almost as
I'm
good.
not saying in terms of wins. I'm saying in terms of beating other conferences.
Just beating you
I
up.
I would take the worst team in the AFC West, because none of us could name them, and it'd all be the same three answer over the worst team in the AFC West, because we would all say the Raiders. Like, I think it even though the Raiders aren't like terrible, even though we dismissed them earlier, like I would take the Bengals any day of the week over the Raiders, or the Browns, or the Ravens, or the Steelers. Like, we're very tight-knit here, though. None of us are elite.
I mean, I have to live in a world of the NFC East too. So I live in the Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins, Giants realm, and that is a Mod Podge of just like complete mediocrity. So.
Hopefully this year the winner of the NFC East actually has a winning record. Come on, we can hope. We can hope.
They can only hope.
The Cowboys should run away with that.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are actually really good.
You would say that, but
here comes Washington.
But anybody in the NFC East has this innate ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Yeah, like true. just snatch it. Just be like, we were so good. Nope. And just be done with it.
The Eagles are right there for a playoff spot, and I think they have a super easy schedule. So
they do. They're like almost all division games, aren't they?
I think it's. I remember. I don't think they have to get on a plane the rest of the season or something like that.
That's what they said.
I think they could take an Uber to the rest of their games or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, it's they got the Redskins, the Giants, the Jets, and somebody else really close. The Giants again, maybe.
Yeah, so I could totally see the Eagles making it. I mean, the Washington. That's
the Washington football team. What do you want to name them? If we can name them right now, like what would you name the Washington football team?
The Redskin Potatoes.
Sounds more racist than the first one, than their original name. So, the Capitals,
Red Wolves.
I like Red Wolves or Red Storm.
Why does Red have to be part of it?
Because they still want to keep the memory of their team alive, basically. But I like Red Wolves. I also like Red Tails, but not everybody is always going to understand the reference for that.
You just do the Capitals.
Red Tails. Like, that's a military thing. What wasn't that the?
Yeah, Red Tails was the Tuskegee Airmen. So it plays back into what their name originally was, without the racial undertones.
Right.
Allows them to show, you're much like the Braves, that we're paying homage, rather than being racist. So
no, that would be cool.
At the end of the day, your owner is still Dan Snyder, so it doesn't really matter what image you put on anything. We all know what is really the face of your organization.
Who can get away with anything. The dude is the worst. He is next to the dude that runs Facebook. He is the worst human on this planet, and he just gets away.
You really hate Mark Zuckerberg that much?
Mark Zuckerberg's
pretty bad.
Is a horrible person.
He's pretty bad.
Is a horrible person.
Dan Snyder's just screwed over about 130, 150 people. Zuckerberg is in the millions,
possibly billions. Yeah,
billions.
So this okay, I don't know. It's on TikTok. I don't know who this girl is, but anyway, she proposed redoing the divisions. This is hilarious. Okay, first you got your Cats division: Bengals, Panthers, Lions, and Jaguars. Then you got your Birds division: Falcons, Cardinals, Ravens, Seahawks, and Eagles.
Those don't line up.
I mean,
those don't line up numerically, but
Birds should not have to play Cats. I agree. by the way, I think birds against cats all time are like they're even. They're like they're like the birds versus cats all time. I think is even.
I'm sure there's some Fox intern keeping statistics on that.
How about the horses division? Cowboys, Colts, and Broncos. How about the humans division? Come on, move. Texans, Buccaneers. Lady, move. I'm trying to.
No, the Bucks, the
Chiefs.
Vikings, and the Raiders have to be in the same one. They're the plunder teams.
Yeah, the plunder teams.
Plunder
Well,
Bros.
okay. She has a human division: Texans, Buccaneers, Chiefs, Patriots, and Raiders.
The Texans
the
are
Chiefs-
cows. The
Yeah.
Texans are
Texans are people from
bulls.
Texas.
No, the Texans are bulls. All of
Yeah,
their
there are.
all of their imagery
Their
is
whole
bulls.
symbol is like a thing with a horn.
Yeah, it's not just their logo, their mascot. All
They're
of their
not dudes from
memorabilia.
Texas.
No, they're
No,
bulls.
God.
I'm
This
convinced.
is brand new information. I didn't
I
know
think
that.
that's the way I view them. When I think of
my
Texans,
God.
the football team, I think of bulls because all of their
I feel
stuff
like
is
Jacob
bulls.
is dropping like my level of Marvel knowledge on like on the NFL right
I
now.
didn't know this. I'm looking that up. Sorry, I don't believe you. She
I
calls
think
I
it's more of an
believe you.
opinion.
she calls it the myth division. Vikings, Saints, Giants, and Titans.
Vikings were real.
But yes, thank you.
Fun
So
fact
we're
about
Saints.
Vikings.
Wait, Saints
Okay,
are an actual thing.
Fun fact about Vikings: they didn't wear horns on their helmets.
They didn't.
No,
Okay, whatever.
that's
Saints,
a myth.
Saints also didn't wear that little spladal on their heads all the time. They were
Oh, that's
Saints.
just a nod to New Orleans.
Whatever.
Okay.
I'm trying to nitpick like you nitpick, but
Okay.
I
She
can't
has
do it as
the,
well.
the working class division was 49ers, Steelers, and who else would be in the working class division?
I mean, Buccaneers, they
There's
work pretty
three
hard for their
teams.
craft, right?
Well, Buccaneers sort of work. Packers.
Packers.
49ers, Steelers, and Packers are your working class division.
I would take that division. We
How
would
can you have a
beat the
working
shit
class
out of that
division and a human division?
Okay, and then
And
she
how
has
do you
something-
have a horses team with the Cowboys,
the Cowboys rode horses?
but they're people? They're
They're not
humans.
horses, as people.
This whole thing is broken.
She
Oh
has
no,
something called-
her divisions.
she
They're
has
broken.
You broke us. You
She has
broke
something
us.
called the chasing division. I guess things you chase: the Bills, the Bears, the Rams, and the Dolphins.
How did none of those fit in any of those divisions? You can put those in the animal divisions. My God.
And then she calls it the rando division: the Browns, Washington, the Jets, and the Chargers.
You really couldn't find nothing for the Browns, which are dogs. And
No, the Browns aren't dogs; they're just colors.
No, they are
they're
dogs based
They,
on their
they
fan base.
bark
Yeah,
at
they're
you.
dogs.
Come on,
No,
they're
I mean
dogs.
that they eventually became Dog Pound, but the Browns are named after the owner.
Oh, I know
Paul
that.
Brown.
I know
I-
that.
yeah,
I'm just saying
valid
the
point, but
imagery is
they're
still,
dogs at this
they're
point.
dogs. They're dogs.
Yeah, they're dogs.
They've accepted that one.
And you know
Yeah.
what? They should be called the Oranges. That's
Oranges?
orange.
You mean
That's not brown.
Tangelos? You mean Tangelos?
We've gone off the rails. Anyway, so it's gonna be fun. Just one more thing. When I was a kid,
Oh,
this is my
God.
favorite time of the year. When I was a kid
The most
I would-
wonderful time of the
of the year, we've got playoffs and no, anyway, I would chart all this stuff. I would like the thing we're talking about, like remaining schedules and stuff. I would calculate conference records and stuff like this. I was a weird kid. This is my favorite thing to just look at all these scenarios, especially like the past couple weeks and the last couple weeks when, you know, it's like, well, if this team does this and this team does this. I love this stuff. This is my favorite time of the year.
When that playoff predictor comes out on ESPN or NFL.com, whichever one it is, I live for that. I'll plug in results and all that. So no, I'm right there with you.
And I will sit there and just be the casual Steelers fan that just goes, "You didn't call the right play" at the television.
We need to run the ball more.
Throw the ball. No, run the ball. No, give Ben the ball. Wait, we're on defense? Ah, crap.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. I'm sure we'll probably talk in a couple weeks. I was going to say Merry Christmas, but we'll probably talk in a couple weeks. Hopefully.
I was going to say, well, they play in a few days, so
it's whatever.
All right, guys.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.